the printed order of service, sign up for our weekly e-blast newsletter, sign our guest book in the foyer, our virtual guest book on the Zoom chat, and you can check out our cool website, Linda Beth and team, at emersonuuc.org, and follow our social media hubs on Facebook and Instagram, and those URLs are on the corkboard in the pavilion. I already told you about the Q&A, told you about the art project and the cool potluck, thanks to all the folks who brought food. As we open our hearts in reflection today, we recognize that we occupy land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the affiliated tribes of the Tongva, Tataviam, Serrano, Kizh, and Chumash peoples. May we honor their elders and descendants by educating ourselves about the citizens that descend from the original native peoples of this region. May we understand that this is ancestral and unceded territory. The true history of California is muddied by the myths and propaganda used to establish the story sympathetic to colonization. However, when we turn towards an understanding of the real history and the cruel policies of settler colonialism, we discover that there has always been resistance by indigenous people, and this legacy of resistance is alive. For one, did you know that that Indigenous Pride Los Angeles is Los Angeles' only pride organization that celebrates Two-Spirit, Indigiqueer, Indigenous LGBTQPAI+ culture, identities, and heritage? Their website is super cool. It's full of great information, including an awesome glossary. And you can find very cool things on key issues like the Child Welfare Act and indigenous positions and resistance. You can find them at Indigenous Pride LA. .org.
Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you all. I'm the Reverend Chloë Briedé, and I'm the minister here at Emerson Unitarian Universalist Church. I use she, her pronouns. If you did check our e-news on Friday, there was a very exciting announcement. The committee that was searching for our family leave minister, Stephanie's here today, Eloise, Jane, and Linda Fitzgerald, who I don't see yet. They were all in a committee to search for that person, and it's been announced. His name is Eric Halseth, and he's a candidate for UU ministry and a local. He actually lives in the Simi Valley. So you all will get to hang out with him for a couple of months while I'm off with a baby. So it's good news. Our service today is a celebration of pride, and it's a celebration of new members. Our opening reading today is for Pride, and it's a reading by the Reverend Hannah Roberts Villaneva, and it's a personal favorite of mine. People sometimes ask, is Pride a protest or a party? The answer is, of course, yes. And why not? Why not rejoice as we resist, dance as we demand change, celebrate as we create community that delights in all of who we are? So bring all of that with you this morning. Bring your policy demands, bring your glitter, bring your Supreme Court broken hearts, bring your rainbow socks, bring the emptiness you feel for our siblings gone too soon. Bring your Gloria Estefan remix, bring your tender hope for change, bring your most garish eyeshadow, bring your spirit tattered and battered by a world that seems to insist on choosing fear and hate. Bring all of these and bring them here to the place where we don't have to shoulder these burdens or celebrate these joys alone. Come, let us worship together. Good morning, everyone. It's good to be with you.
For our I invite you to stand or sit as you're comfortable for our chalice lighting. I was really moved by the quote by Reverend Tonetta Landesina offered by Reverend Chloe in the Order of Service, because it illuminates the themes of joy and liberation at the heart of our service today. Nurtured in the American South in the deep soil of respectability, Reverend Tonetta writes, she realized that squeezing herself into what is socially acceptable and proper in order to present as the good gay, as she puts it, would keep her safe from controversy, racially centered violence, and homophobia that are the realities for her as a Black, butch, queer woman Christian pastor. The lesson she shares is to confront the false promise of security and respectability. They're not safety, they're silence. So as we light our chalice, may the flame ignite and renew our courage, joy, and liberation. Now I ask you to join us in reciting our covenant in English and Spanish. Gotta learn to do it like you do. Hello again. It's me, Tess, Lotta, up here. I offer a warm welcome to everyone here in our sanctuary and on our Zoom sanctuary. Together we are a community in heartfelt embrace as we welcome our new members and wish all a happy Pride Month. We welcome folks from all backgrounds and experiences, and we're so glad you're here. Emerson is a community centered on love, encouraging self-expression and inquiry. Our Unitarian Universalist shared values of pluralism, generosity, interdependence, equity, justice, and transformation express our commitment to foster an inclusive community. We embrace the dignity and worth in each individual. Whatever life circumstances that brought you here, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. However you choose to express your spiritual influences and secular principles, we welcome you. For you, the word welcoming is both an adjective and a verb, an aspiration and action. I think of it as a two-sided coin. The Unitarian Universalist Association, our governing body, illuminates it when they offer us this clarification. Being welcoming, asserts the UUA, means striving for radical inclusion and creating spaces that honor every part of our identities, backgrounds, and experiences. Many of you already know that Emerson is a welcoming congregation, a designation recognized by the UUA. The UUA Welcoming Congregation Program launched about 25 years ago to support congregations in the work of ensuring lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex, asexual, two-spirit, genderqueer, non-binary, and queer people feel fully welcomed, centered, and embraced as full members of our Unitarian Universalist congregations. Earning this designation is no easy task. Doing the research on it, wow. A congregation must submit an application to the UUA with basically a dossier that demonstrates measurable achievements in the areas of education, congregational life, and community outreach. So about 15 years ago, a group of near 30 Emersonians, supported by our friend Reverend Ann Hines, embarked on this journey of classes, trainings, and slew of actions that earned EUUC our welcoming congregation designation. The formational goal of the group was supporting the larger movement spurred from the lawsuit brought by two same-sex couples in opposition to the passing of Proposition 8, an amendment to the California's Constitution banning same-sex marriage. The EUUC group initiated key activities and outreach, including call banks to politicians and other stakeholders, and presenting an adaptation of the play 8 by Academy Award-winning screenwriter Dustin Lance Black. He wrote it because they wouldn't release the transcripts, so he found the transcripts and he wrote the actual closing arguments of the federal trial that led to the August 4, 2010 overturn of Proposition 8. Our folks were there. The work of welcome is never done, urges the UUA. To continue to build on what our Emersonian comrades achieved, the UUA invites already designated congregations like ours to honor our original pledge by participating in the Welcome Renewal Program. This renewal process, as the UUA articulates, offers members, and our new members especially, opportunities to express a recommitment to this work and learn about the current needs and concerns of LGBTQIA+ folks. Right on. With our service today, we celebrate our new members and express a renewal of the spirited determination of Emerson as a welcoming congregation. We honor LGBTQIA family in our service and our art activity today, and when shouting our voices, please join us among the jubilant and defiant choruses of the San Fernando Valley Pride March on June 28th. May today be a revival. In a moment, we'll offer time to greet your neighbors and community and have some community and connection. During that time, please feel welcome to write in our physical book of life right over there behind Kevin any joy, concern, occasion, or thoughts you'd like shared aloud with the congregation during the service. For folks on Zoom, you'll see a link to the book of life in the virtual area on Zoom. And before we move on, I just want to take some time to say on behalf of our EUC community, we thank and acknowledge Kevin, the choir, our tech crew, our ushers, the wonderful lobby team, the generous folks setting up our potluck and folks sharing food, and everyone to make this service happen. I offer some personal thanks to Tracy Watson for letting me grill her for the information on the original welcoming congregation and her memories, which helped me to trace that history for us, and Christy Kelly, a new member, for sharing her talents to help me with the art activity today. If you're able, please offer a few minutes after the potluck to help clean up. Now, let us take some time to greet our neighbors in the spirit of welcome and worship. So today, we're in for a great treat today for our Time for All Ages. We're excited to offer a short film created by Philip Koretsky and with music by David Glashinsky, two of our members. This is partly the footage from last year, Emerson at Pride, San Fernando Valley Pride, and it was such a fun day, and we hope you can join us this year. But, you know, Philip and David, we thank you both. Where's Philip? There he is, and Dave's up in the crow's nest. We thank you both for sharing your talents to uplift Emerson's participation in San Fernando Valley Pride last year and coming this year. The importance of Pride Month as an expression of our welcoming congregation designation and the work of the original Emersonians who achieved it. Enjoy.
I feel like Pride is definitely like a big party. Every June has always been about celebrating and coming together with all the people that I know and love and connect with, and coming together to connect and celebrate who we are. I definitely feel like this congregation is extremely welcoming and full of very understanding people.
First became a welcoming congregation. It's not something where you just sign up and, magic, you're a welcoming congregation. We actually had a series of classes or conversations. A certain number of people in Emerson had to agree that they were interested in becoming a welcoming congregation, and then they had to commit to come to these classes, trainings, discussions, and find out what it meant. But after we've gone through a number of the trainings, we've got whatever approval the Unitarian Universalist Association gives that means you're a welcoming congregation. So that was a big step for us. And then when 2015 came along and finally gay marriage was legal, we had our first wedding here with Reverend Ann.
It's okay for me to say that I'm bisexual, even though I've been not practicing for decades. It's just part of who I am and accepted, and I feel really good that Emerson has been a good, safe place. It feels like, I hope, for other people, LGBTQIA people, to just be part of the church.
friends present and supporting them in their journey and of love and who they are, and embracing everything about them and showing them that I'm an ally. And that's part of why I really love that Emerson has a welcoming congregation designation, and that bringing that in and celebrating that by marching in Pride as a community just helps us honor everybody that we love.
I'm really excited about June coming up being Pride Month because I'm so proud of our church. For such a tiny church, we've done such a good job of being a welcoming church, and I'm glad that we have a trans support group in our church. Our little church of 80 has a support group of like 12 people, which is remarkable. I think we're doing a good job, but I think I'd like to see the good job we're doing be out there more, like that other people would know about us, communicating more.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, everyone who participated. It was amazing, and also a good, encouragement to maybe go to Pride this year. I believe it's Saturday the 28th, and you can talk to Tess about it. So if you would join me in our affirmation. We are Unitarian Universalist, people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. I'm going to invite Lynn Masahara to come up and join me. There she is.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The new member ceremony is an exciting day for our congregation. It is my pleasure to be able to welcome and honor our newest members. As I call your names, please come up to the front here and join us. Jane Flowers. Yay. Karen Gates. Here. Christy Kelly's in the back row.
There you go.
And Reverend Chloe just told me that Tom Lentz unfortunately has COVID, so we're really sorry about that, but
I think
hopefully
he's
he'll be
on
back.
Zoom with us, he said, so we say hi, Tom.
Oh, hi, Tom. Yeah. Crystal Patterson. I didn't see. Oh, there she is. And Sandra Schlepak, who has been here for a long time, and we're really glad to. Okay. We encourage you to share with us your creative thoughts, your vital experiences in life, your doubts and your dreams about what life and our lives together can be.
It's a joy to welcome each and every one of you today, and Tom. Becoming a member of this congregation is an important step, but it's only the first step. I encourage you to grow in your religious life, to explore and share your unique gifts. I ask, will you journey together with us, sharing the joys and responsibilities of membership? And if you agree, would you please say yes?
Yes.
This is a day of celebration for all of us as we honor our commitment to become members of Emerson Unitarian Universalist Church. We know that you did not come to this decision lightly. I ask the members of this congregation, will you reach out to these people in friendship, including them in our activities and fellowship? Will you travel with them on their religious journey? Will you be open to their unique gifts and perspectives? Will you extend a warm welcome to each of them, remembering that each of you, was once a new member? Indeed.
As you journey alongside us, I ask that you share with us your creative thoughts, your questions, your doubts, and the values that you hold most dear. I invite you to shake us up a little bit, maybe a lot, with your honest thinking, to stir us up with your consciousness, and to stimulate our hopes with your dreams. Ours is a shared ministry to help each other find meaning in life and to build a just and compassionate world. If you all would join in this with me. May we be a blessing to one another and the world always. So as a symbol of our joining together, I'm going to invite the new members to write on a little slip of fabric we have there. Tess is going to help you, and Kevin's going to play some music. So if you feel like you have some time, we'll enjoy the music. And you can write your name if you'd like, and any hope or dream you have for this church or your membership in this church. And then we'll weave it together into the loom, and we can help you with that part too. Yeah. Once you've done that.
Oh, are you
Go
ready
ahead.
for that?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll also invite you.
New members to accept a gift. Your own mini chalice with a candle handmade by Tess. And they're quite lovely, and I had to smell them all already.
And we usually do give out a little Unitarian Universalist pocket guide, but there's a 7th edition coming out in September. So this is a bit of an IOU from me, that if you would like your Unitarian Universalist pocket guide, 7th edition in September, see me and I'll make sure you get one.
Yes. If you're really desperate, I have the copies of the old one that I'd be glad to share too.
So we are so delighted to have you with us and so delighted to welcome you. Thank you.
Come on down. Thank you.
The nice part of getting to be up there was you got to see all the different weaving techniques everyone used. Thank you for joining us. We're so honored to have you all among us. Thank you.
Got Reverend Chloe's technique down with the little standy thing. All right, sharing the plate. Thank you, that was so cool. It was really fun seeing everybody do that. As part of our commitment to practice our UU values, we provide half our share of the plate offerings to local organizations whose work embodies these values. This month, our Share the Plate partner is Pink Haven Coalition. Pink Haven is a coalition of trans organizers, mutual aid groups, progressive faith organizations, queer associations, and individual justice lovers like us committed to trans liberation and joy and to growing community defense, mutual aid, and alternative systems of care for gender diverse people. They work in response to the increasingly hostile legislative environment in the United States, with more than 550 legislative acts in the last year seeking to eradicate transgender people from public life. Please explore more about Pink Haven at pinkhaven.org. We appreciate your support. You may contribute today, here today, or see the online donation form, information on the printed order of service, or donate at emersonuuc.org. If you're writing a check, please memo Share the Plate, or if it's a pledge, please write pledge. Thank you so much. And with great gratitude, we now thank our ushers and y'all for your very generous offerings. Thank you. Together we share, and from this we live. For the reading today, I appreciate the opportunity to share a few of my favorite works from LGBTQIA+ identified writers. As a writer myself, I admire and am inspired by the unconstrained literary and creative agency expressed by these artists, fearlessly and vulnerability moving through the depths of loss, love, identity, social critique, and self-expression. So our first poem today is by Natalie Diaz, a Mojave American and Latina woman and enrolled member of the Gila River Indian community. Her second collection of poetry, Post-Colonial Love Poem, won the 2021 Pulitzer Prize. Diaz's work has been described by one review as a voice demanding that every body carries in its pages bodies of language, land, rivers, suffering, brothers, enemies, and lovers, be touched and held as beloveds. Through these poems, the review continues, the wounds inflicted by America onto Indigenous people are allowed to bloom, pleasure, and tenderness. This is first appeared in My Brother Was an Aztec. This is called Abecedarian Requiring, I love the title, Abecedarian Requiring Further Examination of Anglican Seraphim Subjugation of a Wild Indian Reservation. A lot of her poetry is critical. She has a lot of satire like that. Angels don't come to the reservation. Bats maybe, or owls. Boxy mottled things. Coyotes too. They all mean the same thing. Death and death. And death eats angels, I guess, because I haven't seen an angel fly through this valley ever. Gabriel? Never heard of him. Know a guy named Gabe, though. He came through here one powwow and stayed. Typical Indian. Sure, he had wings, jailbird that he was. He flies around in stolen cars wherever he stops. Kids grow like gourds from women's bellies. Like I said, no Indian I've ever heard of has ever been or seen an angel. Maybe in a Christmas pageant or something. Nazarene Church holds one every December, organized by Pastor John's wife. It's no wonder Pastor John's son is the angel. Everyone knows angels are white. Quit bothering with angels, I say. They're no good for Indians. Remember what happened the last time? Some white god came floating across the ocean. Truth is, there may be angels, but if there are angels up there living on clouds or sitting on thrones across the sea, wearing velvet robes and golden rings, drinking whiskey from silver cups, we're better off if they stay rich, fat, and ugly, and exactly where they are in their own distant heavens. You better hope you never see an angel on the res. If you do, they'll be marching you off to Zion or Oklahoma, or some other hell they've mapped out for us. The next selection is a poem by Miller Oberman. Oberman identifies as a trans, anti-Zionist Jewish poet committed to the liberation of all. He is the author of Impossible Things on Duke University Press and The Unstill Ones on Princeton University Press. He has received a number of awards for his poetry, including the Ruth Lilly Fellowship, very prestigious, and the Poetry Magazine's John Frederick Nims Memorial Prize for Translation. Oberman lives with his family in New York, teaching writing at Eugene Lang College at the New School. This poem appears in Poetry Magazine collection Queer Love Poems, love poetry by and for LGBTQ plus folks. This is called On Trans. The process of going through is ongoing. The earth doesn't seem to move, but sometimes we fall down against it and seem to briefly alight on its turning. We were just going, I was just leaving, which is to say coming elsewhere, transient. I was going as I came. The words move through my limbs, lungs, mouth, as I appear to sit peacefully at your hearth, transubstantiating some wine. It was a rough red. It was one of those nights we were not forced by circumstances to drink wine out of mugs. Circumstances being, in those cases, no one had been transfixed at the kitchen sink long enough to wash dishes. I brought armfuls of wood from the splitting stump, many of them, because it was cold, went right on top of their recent ancestors. It was an ice night. They transpired visibly, resin to spark, bark to smoke, wood to ash. I was transgendering and drinking the rough red at roughly the same rate, and everyone who looked saw. The translucent flames beat against the air, against our skins. This can be done with or without clothes on. This can be done with or without wine or whiskey, but never without water. Evaporation is also ongoing, most visibly in this case in the forms of wisps of steam rising from the heat of just washed hair, of the form of fire whose beauty was in the earth's turning that night and many nights, transcended. I felt the heat changing me. The word for this is trans-desire. But in extreme cases, we call it trans-dire. Or when this heat becomes your maker, we say trans-sire. Or when it happens in front of a hearth, trans fire. The final selection is a poem by Audre Lorde, one of my absolute favorites, an American writer and professor, philosopher, and intersectional feminist and civil rights activist. She's self-described as a Black, lesbian, feminist, socialist, mother, warrior, poet. Lorde dedicated her life to and work to confronting issues related to civil rights, feminism, lesbianism, illness, disability, and the exploration of Black female identity. She was the recipient of many national and international awards and was the founding member of Kitchen Table, Woman of Color Press. Just a note for reference, Lorde references Dahomey, which was a pre-colonial African kingdom. This appears in her anthology, The Collected Poems of Audre Lorde. This is titled, A Woman Speaks. Moon-marked and touched by sun, my magic is unwritten. But when the sea turns back, it will leave my shape behind. I seek no favor, untouched by blood, unrelenting as the curse of love, permanent as my errors or my pride. I do not mix love with pity or hate with scorn. And if you know me, you would look to the entrails of Uranus where the restless oceans pound. I do not dwell within my birth nor my divinities, who am ageless and half-grown and still seeking my sisters. Witches in Dahomey wear me inside their coiled cloths, as our mothers did, mourning. I have been woman for a long time, beware my smile. I am treacherous with old magic and the noon's new fury. With all your wide futures promised, I am woman and not white.
Thank you, Tess, for sharing those poems that, when you told me about them, it really sounds like they mean a lot to you, but also that it was nice to hear them shared, too. Poems are different when they're experienced out loud. Thank you. I'm going to invite us to take a deep breath together in a moment of silence. And I'm going to read the joys and sorrows and milestones that were written in our book of life this morning. Kate writes, keep 11th grade Ellie in your thoughts. She has worked hard this semester, but could use some grace with the last push in geometry. I think like a lot of us. Linda Beth writes, I wish I could be a better support for my family in Georgia and Kentucky, but at least I'm glad my older sister is in a good continuing care retirement community. Jane writes, my mentor is not only moving to New York State, but recently found out that she has breast cancer. They caught it in early stages, but she is very much in my thoughts. And I will add, please keep my friend Jen and her baby Alice in your thoughts, as Alice, a preemie born at 25 weeks, battles pneumonia and sepsis in the NICU. From Nicole this morning, we have a joy. We have been enjoying the early summer morning farmers market as the summer produce starts ramping up. And David asks prayers for a good outcome for my wife, Marianne, who has a cardiac procedure next week. We're going to take a moment and ring our bell, and you're invited to speak the names of anyone who's on your heart out loud this morning. If you would join me in the spirit of prayer. Beloved Spirit of life and love, we come together celebrating Pride today, celebrating the love and acceptance and joy and celebration found in Pride, and also the protest there, the work that continues, especially for our trans and non-binary beloveds, especially as we continue to see hate in this world. Beloved Spirit of life, we also pray today for all those who are experiencing suffering, whether through sickness or anxiety or grief. We pray for those who need some space, who need some time, who need some relief. Beloved Spirit of life, we also pray with joy, joy for the little things like fresh produce and farmers markets, joy for graduations and for new beginnings, joy for little babies born. Beloveds, we are a community that comes together filled with all the joys and sorrows of life. May we hold those joys and sorrows close and lift them up in prayer to the holy. Amen. Let it be so. Blessed be. I've been to a few Pride marches in my life, maybe more than a few. Sacramento, San Francisco, Boston, Pittsburgh, Long Beach. Each has been different and meaningful in their own way. Sacramento was more of a festival. San Francisco and Boston, a huge party. Pittsburgh, a small, more intimate party. There's something inherently good about the celebration of Pride, of joining together and proclaiming from the rooftops that all genders and sexual orientations matter, that equity is worth fighting for even if we are partying and expressing our joy and community as we protest. One of the phrases that gets batted around a lot at Pride, especially in the more corporate forms of Pride these days, is love is love. A phrase which during the fight for gay marriage was extremely meaningful. Let us marry and have rights just like everyone else. And we were successful. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of marriage in 2015, and we celebrated particularly hard that year. That was 10 years ago. Personally, in that time, I married my spouse, Div, with only the fanfare of a fun family wedding and no problems or pushback from the Virginia county where we are legally married. Though there was a bit of a debacle with our officiant, but that had nothing to do with our status as a queer couple. You can ask me that story offline if you'd like. My mind, though, pushes back against the phrase love is love when I hear it. Because queer rights and liberation is not just about love or who someone loves. And it's also not about fitting in with the norms of society. More radical queer scholars and activists might say that trying to make everyone the same by saying love is actually contradicting the message of pride and queer rights altogether. We don't have to love how each other love in order to get acceptance. In an article written by Rebecca Bauer says that love is love focuses more on sexual minorities, LGB, lesbian, gay, and bisexual folks, while forgetting other letters in the acronym. Love is love does something that has been a point of tension in the queer community for years. It forgets at least half of what we were fighting for, the freedom and equity for gender minorities. Folks who identify as trans or non-binary or intersex, or who may even embrace more than one part of that ever-growing acronym. Love is love does, folks who identify as trans or non-binary might not feel a part of that love is love phrase. Bauer says that perhaps the other thing that should move us beyond the phrase love is the idea that all love doesn't look the same. My own relationship follows a script that has mostly been set out by my straight peers. But again, if we're talking about queer liberation, we're talking about freedom for all family expressions and all gender expressions. And freedom to love in ways that don't fit the nice, acceptable ways. Freedom and liberation for our friends that identify as polyamorous or non-monogamous. Freedom and liberation for folks who like to exist outside the gender binary, or have found themselves changing where they fit into the binary or on the spectrum of gender. Bauer suggests that perhaps our Pride protest signs should say something like this instead. Equity for all. Pride is a protest. And I might add pride as a protest and a party on our signs. That would be cool. Love, not hate. Protect trans kids. Kate is demonstrating that with her shirt today. And another one I might add, which is the theme of Boston's Pride this year, which I really like. The theme of their Pride this year is no kings, but yes, queen. Exactly. Yes, queen, no kings. So for the last 10 years or so, my favorite Pride event has been the Dyke March. They tend to feel a little bit more like a protest and a lot more grassroots. More homemade signs. It's usually led by motorcycles or the dykes on bikes. people on their bikes or with baby carriages, and folks with drums playing along. The Dyke March came about in the 90s as a pushback against the often white male-dominated space of Pride. They wanted to make room for queer women, both in gender and sexuality, and encourage them towards activism in their own right. I like the Dyke March because it still feels like they managed to have an organic community, one that sometimes goes missing in some of the more corporate Pride spaces we've seen these days. Centering the liberation and rights of folks from across the spectrum with a special focus on those who are often marginalized in spaces that have historically been more gay male-centric. A step beyond the love is love narrative, a step that includes folks beyond the binary and creates space for all sorts of queerness and love. I encourage you to go to one if you've never been to one, and they a lot of times ask that if you identify as male, you can stand on the sidelines and cheer them on. And if you're a woman or someone who exists sort of in the in-between space, that you go and march and have fun with them. Here at Emerson, the outreach team is inviting folks to participate in an art-themed activity after service having to do with Pride. You can also join them for the march, of course, on the 28th. And some of what we're highlighting is how to be an ally, because allyship is needed more than ever these days, especially as we see the rights of our queer beloveds threatened and chipped away at. Tess highlighted that. Especially those who identify as trans, non-binary, or genderqueer. I was interested to read recently that allyship can take a lot of different forms. And understanding this has helped me see where I could be a better ally and where I might thrive as an ally, where I might already be thriving as an ally. And you might ask, don't you fall within the LGBTQ plus community? Do you need to be an ally? And I would say yes. I identify as queer in my sexual orientation, and I also identify as a cis woman, someone whose gender assigned at birth matches how I identify. I have room to be an ally. And so here were the 7 forms of allyship that I learned. And you might, as you hear them, think about where you actually fit in and then where you might have some growth to do. The first was the sponsor, or I've heard some people call it the cheerleader, who endorses people from underrepresented groups wholeheartedly and enthusiastically helps to boost their credibility and representation. The second one is the champion, which makes sure that people who might otherwise be overlooked are tapped for their expertise, often in large public settings. The third is the amplifier, which ensures that all voices are heard and that people get credit for their ideas. The fourth, the advocate, looks out for people missing from meetings and other opportunities and invites them in. The scholar does the work to understand the challenges faced by people from underrepresented groups and shares their knowledge to raise awareness. The sixth is the confidant, which listens to and believes others when they share their experiences or concerns, even if they haven't personally experienced them. And the last but not least is the upstander, who intervenes when they witness offensive behavior, discrimination, or bullying. I mention all of these because in reading them, I could understand that I'm good at being an advocate, seeing someone who's missing and trying to pull them in and include them. And I'm good at being a cheerleader sometimes, but I could probably do better at being an upstander or a scholar. I try to support and connect people, but there have been times when I've regretted not speaking out. I think it's safe to say that, like a lot of people, I've had moments when I want to correct someone's use of pronouns or assumptions about someone's gender identity or a piece of their identity and have totally frozen up. I also have had times when I wish I knew more. I honestly could improve my understanding of the intersex community and their experiences and people's identities in that space. Have some learning there. I think we all have space to grow as allies, whether it's in becoming better advocates or champions, or learning to respond as a bystander to challenging problematic behavior or challenging language we don't agree with. You might consider where you have space to grow as an ally to the queer community. Perhaps you still need to increase your understanding of gender queerness or practice pronouns a little bit more. Or perhaps you need to spend some time learning about the experiences of intersex people or those who identify as asexual, or practicing speaking up when you hear something wrong. Get good at the, well, actually, that's not true. Or that's not how I think about things when you hear something wrong. I love the reading, though, that we began with that asks, is pride a protest or a party? It is responding in ways in which, and you might respond in a way that pride is not actually a one-day event. It's not actually a weekend. It's a whole month, but it can also be your whole life. It's a celebration of queer identity and a continual reminder that there's work to be done. It's both a celebration and a reminder that there's still work to be done. Still work to do as allies, still work to do to push the fight beyond gay marriage and into equal rights for all families and all gender expressions. A way of saying that love matters, especially when it fights hate, and when it asks us to go beyond our comfort zones, embracing a more expansive and joyful view of the world. May we protest, defend, love, and party in this Pride season. May it be so. Amen. And I'm going to invite Tess up. We're going to do a quick glitter blessing, which I promise will be fun. And I will tell you that we created a little glitter gel, and it's aloe vera gel, and it's biodegradable glitter. So if those two things speak to you, you're invited up for a little bit of glitter. And Tess is going to help me introduce this.
So cool. June is set aside as Pride Month. It is a time for us to remember that the best thing we can be is ourselves. It is a time to remember to love and care for one another. It is a time to respect the beautiful diversity of humanity. This is the time when we affirm there is no one way to do family, and a time to affirm that there are infinite genders and expressions. It is a time to work for justice and to bring more beauty into the world.
June is to dream of a more wondrous world, to bring more magic into reality. June is for gratitude for each other, to be bold in our loving for our friends, our family, our neighbors, and our partners. Today, we bless this glitter, a sign of the mystery of the stars and the fabulousness of our souls. May we remember to shine and sparkle each and every day, and may it remind us that we are a beloved part of creation. So you'll be given the option of no glitter. We can just give you a blessing if you like, but you can also get glitter on your foreheads, on your cheeks if you'd like, or on your hands. So just ask us, tell us what you'd like. You're invited to come up, and Tess will be on one side, I'll be on the other, and Kevin's going to play for us a little bit. you're invited to stand for our final hymn, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in
holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place,
when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our stories from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of secret space, and the God of our heart thirsts within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Connected to someone next to you. They're already ahead of the script over here. So, and if you're online, you might give yourself a hug. That's something I like. Beloveds, may you be blessed today with the spirit of pride, with the spirit of protest, with the spirit of a party. May you be blessed in knowing that you are a beloved child of the universe. Amen. May it be so. Blessed be.
Blessings be. That was awesome. Thank you so much. It was such a blast.
Thanks.